certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankin. This is going to be a fun one today. We're talking about Pattinson movies. And I've got a great panel here. Over here, I've got Jacob Barber. Jacob, how's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about Robert Pattinson. I think, it's been nice over the last, 5 or 6, maybe even close to 10 years. He's kind of shaken that Edward Cullen only. And he's done some great stuff. So excited to see what makes the list.
And also you've got Jordan here. Jordan, how's it going?
It's going good. I had to join in on the team name and pick his team, so I just came up with one. But yeah, this is always a good time here in Rankum. And yeah, I watched 3 movies for this. I tried to get to 4, but I just didn't have time. But 3's not too bad. So yeah, I'm ready for it.
But with that, how Rankin works is we each go around and nominate the movie if it belongs on a top 12 list, and then even the other people say yes or no to it. If it gets a majority yeses, in this case, if it gets 2 yeses, then we'll make the list. And then at the end of the show, we rank the 12 movies and form a top 12 list between this panel. If it's a different panel, there will be a different list. That's how this works. But Jacob, we're going to go to you first. What is the first movie you're going to bring up?
No, Malcolm, this is the definitive 12. No other 12 matters except for this one. This is the list. And a movie I think that should definitely be on that list is The Batman. I think The Batman is an obvious choice for this. I know a lot of people, when they saw that Robert Pattinson was cast as Batman, were skeptical. But if you had seen any of his previous work leading up to that, you would have realized that he's a decent choice for the role, and I think he knocked it out of the park. I thought he had some great side characters. I didn't feel the length of the movie at all. I thought it moved along at an excellent pace. I liked the story. Colin Farrell, Paul Dano, Andy Serkis, Jeffrey Wright. I think they were all incredible. I'm looking forward to the Batman 2 whenever that script gets done, whenever that starts production. But I will
in a few years.
I will be there when that opens as well. So yeah, I think the Batman definitely deserves to be on the list.
Jordan, what do you say about the Batman?
Yeah, so I pretty much have a definitive top 12 for this list, just because I've only seen 15 Robert Pattinson movies. So I mean, he doesn't have a huge filmography, but he's got enough to come up with a list. And the Batman's definitely on there. The Batman's pretty high, actually. Yeah. For Robert Pattinson movies, Batman ruled. It's really, really good. I love the Penguin in it. I love like the way that they portray Batman. Even like some of the Bruce Wayne stuff. I think that it's all really good. The Jim Gordon stuff. The only thing I thought was very unnecessary was the like whole flooding at the end. I'm kind of like a little like don't really love that stuff, and then I don't think that the score, like some people really talk about it, that the score is like on par with the other one. I think it's good, but on par with like the Dark Knight or the '89 Batman, I don't think so. But I'll say yes because it is great.
I'm not as high on the Batman as other people are, but for this list, I do I'm still saying yes to it because I do think it's a good movie. And yeah, I mean the score I do think is pretty good, and it's one of those ones like if you listen carefully, it is kind of an amalgamation of the Dark Knight score and the '89 Batman, because there's kind of elements to both kind of interwoven in that score, which I kind of like. So it's going to be an easy yes for me, and the Batman is going to make this list. And I mean, Rob hasn't played a vampire. Of course, it's going to be a perfect choice to play it back. Jordan, we're going to get a unique. What is your first movie you're going to bring out?
Yeah, so I think like sometimes when I come into to rank them, I have to have a little bit of a strategy. But for this one, I think that the filmography is like so small enough that I can just kind of shoot for the one that I love, and I'm gonna go with the one that's number one on my list. I'm gonna go with Good Time. I think that movie rules. I think it's really, really good. Directed by the Safdie brothers and has Benny Safdie in it, and just like it's just Robert Pattinson being the brother to Benny Safdie, and I think in the movie, his brother has some kind of mental thing going on that makes him a little slow, but they do a bank robbery and his brother gets caught. That's not really a spoiler because he spends the whole movie trying to to try to rescue him, and it's a kind of a fun like One Crazy Night movie of sorts. And yeah, I think it's really, really good, and the writing's on par, the acting, everything. So yeah, I'll go with Good Time.
Look, if I had some more time, I probably would have given Good Time a rewatch. I wanted to focus on trying to go for some like blind spots that I thought might come up first. So I didn't rewatch it. So unfortunately, I'm going to say no because I didn't like this movie. I wasn't a big fan of this. I got lost half, and I had no idea what was going on. So yeah. But Jacob, what do you say about Good Time?
Well, we know what Malcolm's number 12 might be. We'll see, because I love Good Time.
Yeah.
I think Good Time is fantastic. Yeah, I love the performances here. Robert Pattinson. Yeah, this was one of those first movies that I saw of his after unfortunately binging Twilight. That I was like, oh no, he's a really great actor. I think he carries this movie. I think there's fantastic supporting performances. Yeah, it's a One Crazy Night. The fallout from this bank robbery, and kind of the lengths he'll go to, or try to go to help his brother. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think it's great writing, great directing. I hope those two, the Robert Pattinson and the Safdies, work together again, because I think they're really good together. So yes, Good Time.
Well, I mean, I don't know if the Safdies are going to work together anymore. I think they're kind of going to go their own ways these days.
Yeah,
I mean, you might get Robert
kind of
Pattinson,
are.
at least one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew what you meant. But Good Time is still going to make the list.
Nice.
And that for my first nomination. And if you thought you're going to go a Robert Pattinson thing about this movie, well,
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
because my first pick is going to be Twilight. Look, I'm a big fan of Twilight. I do think the first movie is really good, and it's one of those ones like I know a lot of people like criticize it for being one. It's one of those ones like it's like that's the way that the character is written, and it's one of those ones like and it's one of those ones that for that reason it's a perfect adaptation of the book. And look, and I think the first Twilight gets a lot of shit. Like while the sequels are not as good as the first one, I do think the first one is good, and it's one of those ones like it. I do think Bob Pence is still at least good in the movie, and I think it's fun in that. So I think I know where this might go, but let's find out. Jacob, what do you say about Twilight?
So I think you might be surprised, because I'm actually I'll give the first Twilight a yes. If it was any other Twilight movie in the series, it would be a no. But I do think the first one is good enough, and I think in terms of his filmography, because like Jordan said earlier, he doesn't have a huge filmography, and unfortunately, he has made a few stinkers. But I think Twilight is a really good, like, middle of the road movie. I think it's still early on in his career too. I think this is like his third or fourth movie that was released. So still fairly early on. He's grown since then. I think he's still I think he portrays the character decently. And also the movie was filmed here in Washington, so that's cool.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I like the first Twilight enough that I think it can be part of the 12.
Jordan, what you say about Twilight?
So this one is an interesting one because his filmography is so small, and just because I haven't seen everything that he's done, but I've seen most of it. But I feel like there's a couple of Twilight movies got to sneak in here that just do, and I've actually been to some of the filming locations, believe it or not, because I also lived in Washington for a little bit, so I went to I don't know if it's actually called Forks, Washington, but it's called some. But
That's the real name of the town.
yeah, because I remember going there, and my whole family went there because we were going to visit the. They actually have a rainforest that's in Western Washington, and we went to go visit the Olympic National Park, and then we got a picture by the sign, and then you can go find Bella's truck from the movie, and you can take a picture in front of that. So we did that, and there's a couple of shops that have some like Twilight themed thing. Not all of it was actually filmed there, though. They filmed a lot in Oregon, I think, is what they said there when we went there. But yeah, so that was fun, and I think that the first Twilight is better than some of the sequels. And for me, Twilight works way better, like, believe it or not, as movies than books, because I tried to read the Twilight series. I'm a big fan of like YA novels and fantasy stuff, and that was the most god awful book for a male to try to read, because all the like annoying crap that goes inside of a teenage girl's mind, and all the drama and all the stuff that I just could not stand. And I got through like half of it, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm not gonna finish this. So, but the movie's decent, and so I don't like love it, but I think that for this list, I can give it a yes. I'm not like thrilled about it, but I'll say yes.
Twilight is going to make the list. I have made a slight prediction. We'll see if that pays off at the end. But Jacob, what is the next movie you're going to bring out?
Yeah, I anytime I can try to get an animated movie on the list, I go for it, especially when I think it's a good animated movie. And he was in the English dub of The Boy and the Heron, so that will be my next nomination. I think The Boy and the Heron. I finally watched it earlier this year because I was still mad at it for taking the Oscar away from Spider-Verse last year. But I'm finally over it, and I was able to watch it, and I think it's fantastic. The story was great. The animation was stupendous as always. Robert Pattinson does the English voice for the Grey Heron, and I think which I had to look up. I couldn't. I knew I recognized the voice, but like it wasn't hitting me. And I was like, oh, it's Robert Pattinson. He's doing a really good job. Yeah, I will go with Best Animated Feature winner, The Boy and the Heron, as my next nomination.
Jordan, what do you say about The Boy and the Heron?
So I haven't seen it, but I did look up and like check out the voice cast, and it is really highly rated. I think it's like 96 or something on Rotten Tomatoes from the audience, and like, but the thing is, I've given anime movies a chance. I've actually watched about a dozen of them, and most of them are just not for me. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's just something about them that I have a hard time with. Like, even just the animation style, even like the Lord of the Rings one that came out this special, kind of has an anime style to it, and it took me out of it. I was just like, oh, I just don't really like this. And so yeah, I think for me, I just can't really do too many anime movies. So yeah, I gotta say no to this one.
Yeah, but I actually I also watched it for the first time this week. Because it's one of those ones that I just never got around to. And yeah, and I think it's great. Like Ghibli's been one of those anime studios that's mostly been never missed. And I think Boy and Heron is great. And the one that surprised me was I completely forgot Batista was in this, and I heard his voice. So I was like, holy shit. But yeah, I will easily say yes to Boy and the Heron. I do think it's good. So Boy and the Heron is going to make the list, and we go back to Jordan.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna go with one that he wasn't in a ton, but he does. But the roles that he has are really good and really fun. And I'm gonna go with Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. So let's see. And yeah, I think that for me, that book is my favorite book, and it's one of the longest books. So the book's really good. The movie I think is good. It's not my favorite movie, but it's up there. It's still like top like four or so for me. And yeah, just him playing Cedric Diggory and being in the maze with with Harry and yeah, he's just like a it just really stood out in the movie to me where like when I saw his character before I even knew who he was, I'm like, oh, that's someone to watch out for. Like he seems pretty cool, that actor. And so yeah, I'll go with Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah, yeah, I love Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. It's one of those ones like he was in the movie a decent amount. I would argue he's still a like semi-supporting lead in this.
Yeah,
Like
right.
just because like he is one of the champions, so he is in a good chunk of the movie. So, and I think it's one of those ones and I do think it's really good and it's one of those ones like I do. This is one of those ones like this is the first one that I think should have been like a split into two.
Yeah, I agree.
So they could have got a lot more, but I mean, it is what it is. They took out like the stuff that they needed to take out to make it work, and it's a good movie. Like, and it's one of those ones you bring up Harry Potter movie. Like, I'm most depending on the actor, I'm probably still going to say yes to it regardless. So it's going to be easy yes to Goblet of Fire. Jacob, what do you say about Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire?
Oh, for sure. I love Harry Potter. I don't think there's a bad movie in the series, and I think this is like either second or third in Harry Potter behind Prisoner of Azkaban. I love the book. The book might be top two for me as well. I think it's a fantastic book. And yeah, I think Robert Pattinson plays the role of Cedric Diggory really well. I think the moment of the movie for me though is when they bring his body back and his dad sees him. Oh, that kills me every single time. It's still it doesn't matter how many times I see it. It's still like it hits me. It's like, oh man. I think the biggest thing for me in movies, the biggest thing that's gonna make me emotional in movies is a parent seeing their child dead and their reactions. It just gets me. But I think he plays the role really well. Yeah, it's considering like this is his. He was in a movie called Vanity Fair, but it was only deleted scenes, so I don't know where that went. But yeah, considering like this was his second movie and the first to get released with him actually in it. I think he started off his career really well. Not a lot of good choices after this up until maybe the early 2010s, but he started off pretty hot. So Harry Potter makes it.
Yeah. But yeah, Goblet of Fire is going to make the list, and it's back to me for my next nomination. And I'm going to go for one that honestly I wish I got around to rewatching, but I didn't. But I do remember liking this movie a lot, and that's Water for Elephants. Pretty much, it's about a circus owner who I admittedly I haven't seen it in a while. I like it. It's just one of those ones like about this circus owner who tries to keep a horse performing as long as he can, but then it's just one of those ones that that he kind of gets and goes into I'm going all over the place, but yeah, I liked it. I hope you guys have seen it to help me a bit along describing this. But Jacob, what do you say about Water for Elephants?
That's it.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I remember watching it. I don't remember revisiting it or wanting to revisit it, but not because I thought it was a bad movie, just because I thought, oh, okay, that was fine. yeah, I think it's got a decent cast. Yeah, Reese Witherspoon, Robert Pattinson, Christoph Waltz, who I think Christoph Waltz can do no wrong. You put him in any movie, and he's going to give a fantastic performance. He's going to give it up his all. It might not make it super high up on the list, but I do. Yeah, it's still a decent movie. So yeah, I'll say yes for Water for Elephants.
Jordan, what do you say about Water for Elephants?
Well, you stole my next pick, Malcolm, because I actually really like this movie a lot. Like I think it's really good. And yeah, so like essentially, Robert Pattinson, in the beginning of the movie, his parents are in a car wreck, and so he experiences this tragedy. So he just hops on a random train that's passing by, and it ends up being the circus train. And then he's, they're kind of trying to help save some of the animals from having to perform. It's got Reese Witherspoon, and they kind of have like a romance in it. And then Christoph Waltz is kind of like the like main like antagonist, and you got some character actors. Hal Holbrook shows up in it too. So and I think that's really good. Yeah, it's one that I saw before I was like crazy familiar with Robert Pattinson. And I really liked it, so that'll be a yes for me. You might be muted. Can't hear you.
I was.
Okay.
I muted myself to yell at my dog, then I forgot to unmute myself.
Okay. Oh, good.
Jacob, what is your next pick?
Oh, we're halfway through the list already. Almost 20 minutes. This might be a short episode. Let's see. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna go with High Life from 2018. I think High Life is fantastic. It's about this group of criminals that were sent on a space mission towards a black hole, taking part in these experiments, these scientific experiments. It's got Robert Pattinson, obviously, and then Juliette Binoche, Andre Benjamin, Andre 3000, for those who know him by his stage name, and Mia Goth. And I think they're all giving a fantastic performance. Monty ends up having to raise this child of a mom who ends up, spoilers. But it's a really fantastic movie. It's one of those where Robert Pattinson really showed me that, like, between this and Good Time, I kind of watched these around the same time. It showed me that he can really lead a movie. Andre 3000 is fantastic as well. I think he's given a really great performance. Juliette Binoche, Mia Goth are fantastic as well. I haven't seen it in a while. I need to give it a rewatch, but I remember I really, really liked this movie, and I was like, Robert Pattinson, he's taking on these different roles, and it's funny, like we remembered him as Edward Cullen, and he's like, well, I'm going to shed that and just do all these really unique movies, and they kind of follow in the same path as Daniel Radcliffe. It's like, no, I'm not just Harry Potter. Watch me do all these crazy movies and all these crazy characters. I'm going to shed that, and I think it's worked for both of them. And I think High Life is really good.
But Jordan, what do you say about High Life?
So I've actually never seen it, but it is one that I want to see. And you know what? Even though I haven't seen it, I'm still going to say yes, because please God, let's not have any more Twilight movies on the list. It's got to be better. Come on. So let's throw it on the list. Yeah, sure. I'll say yes, because I'm a big sci-fi guy, and just like a space survival, as long as it's not Gravity, I usually enjoy it. So, yeah.
I mean, even if you had said no, I'm still going to say yes. This is one of those movies that, like, I remember seeing this at a film festival once, because I got like free square. I was volunteering at a film festival, so I got to go to some movies for friends. This is when I decided to go see. Admittedly, I don't know if it's a Jordan movie, but you can watch and give it your own opinion later if you want.
So I'm not gonna hit yes. There's a few I don't love, like Sunshine. Also, there's a few out there.
but this is, I mean, this is one that I didn't know if I was going to like it personally. Like, because I remember, I was in a group chat with a bunch of people who do trivia, and they were like, and I said like, I'll probably go. I'm going to see this movie. It's like they're all like, oh, you probably won't like it, but it's like I ended up surprised myself and liking it more than I thought I would. So yeah, it's an easy yes for me for High Life. That High Life is going to make the list, and we go back round to Jordan.
So I'm just going kind of in the order of like the Robert Pattinson movies I like, and so I'm just gonna go with the one that just came out because I'm fresh off of it, and I just saw it, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't like love it like I thought I would, but I'm gonna go with Mickey 17, just because like I liked it enough. So it was my number one most anticipated movie from last year. Then this year it was my number two most anticipated. I'm a big Bong Joon-ho fan. I think he's fantastic. He's a fantastic director, and like even though, especially like in the second half, it gets a little wonky. I won't give any spoilers because it just came up, but yeah, but we're talking Robert Pattinson movies. He does give a great performance, and then also Naomi Aki, she's really good in it too. Those are probably the two standouts for me. Stephen Ewan's also fun when he pops up. I don't know what Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette are like trying to do. I mean, well, like I know what they're doing. I don't like what they're doing. They're being like some kind of like a Donald Trumpian kind of like people. I don't know. It's weird. And yeah, but yeah, just like him being this guy that like signs up to be in space as like an expendable to just die over and over again, and then they can reprint his body, which raises some kind of like ethical issues and a question like if we ever came up with something like that, would that be helpful or harmful or what? There's a lot of like question there, so I kind of appreciate that, and yeah, just the whole sci-fi aspect of it. I think that it's fun. Like it still is fun. It's not a bad movie. It's just not as great as I expected, and I think I probably went in with too high of expectations, but I think it still deserves like to be like somewhere in the middle of this list. I feel like for me. So yeah, Mickey 17.
I haven't got around to seeing it yet. I kind of missed Mickey's 1 to 16, so
Oh, dang.
yeah. But Jacob, what do you say about Mickey 17?
Well, I heard they really only referenced Mickey 12, so you should be fine.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately, the weather did not cooperate with me today, so I was not able to go see it. I had planned on seeing it before this, but I don't like to walk in bad weather. So unfortunately, I am going to have to abstain from this one.
Yeah.
Usually the movies are a good time to go to when it is bad weather because you can escape it and go indoors.
Yeah, but I have to walk there, so.
Oh, you got to walk there. Okay, yeah, and that makes sense. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And depending on what how bad the bad weather is, then it could be dangerous to go there as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Um.
But
I figured maybe you guys might not have seen it, so that's fine.
I tried to. Yeah, I wanted to. I'm sure just because of his filmography, it definitely probably would have made the list. But
yeah.
I mean, if I had the money, I would have gone on Friday night to go see it.
Yeah.
But, I didn't. I had it last payment come out that day. Is like.
Well, I've been there before. Trust me, yeah.
But with that, we move on to there, and it's on to me. And I'm going to bring up a movie called Remember Me. And this is what it's Mark Pattinson and Emily D. Raven from Lost. And it's pretty much like Robert Pattinson's character meets Ellie under strange circumstances with trauma and that, but then Tyler learns secret and which creates a divide between them and all that, and And it's just one of those. It's a really good drama movie, and it's one of those ones like, and in like Robin Pattinson's sort of short career so far, like he's gone to various different genres. He's done really well when it comes to drama, and Remember Me, I think is a really good movie. And it's one of those ones like heartwarming at times as well. But Jacob, what do you say about Remember Me?
Um, yeah, this one's interesting because I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. Um, it's been a while. Yeah, I remember I always heard that it was like this romantic movie, and then it opens up with this woman getting shot in front of her kid, and I'm like, that's not what I expected from a movie that I was told was romantic. Because you
Very
see the
romantic.
yeah, you see the poster for it, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be like a rom com, definitely. And then yeah, that Robert Pattinson's getting into fights outside the bar, and he doesn't want his dad to help him pay for a lawyer or whatever because the lawyer, and also lawyers, they charge too much per hour. Fuck that.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's still a decent movie. Yeah, kind of between Twilight movies for him. And yeah, I think it's good enough to make it on the list. I'll probably be in the lower half for me personally, but yeah, I'll say yes for Remember Me.
Jordan, what do you say about Remember Me?
So yeah, this one's one that was good. I didn't like love it, but I have seen it. It's been a while, but there's one that I probably wasn't gonna bring up, but if somebody else did, I would say yes to because I do really love the cast in it. I mean, because along with Robert Pattinson, yeah, you got Imelda Rabin, who I'm a fan of hers from Lost and also from Once Upon a Time. She played Belle, and then Pierce Brosnan playing his dad, and then you got Chris Cooper in there. I think it's like a cop, maybe or something like that. But yeah, but it's really good. And well, I mean, it's good. I probably shouldn't say really good, but it's good enough to be like maybe like in the lower half of this list for me. And yeah, like it's kind of got some things that you don't expect. There's a lot of kind of like tragedies, and they kind of come together through that, and that's how the romance kind of works. So yeah, I'll say yes.
You've also got Princess Meghan Markle in it as well.
Oh wow, yeah, that's right. I totally like didn't even recognize that. Yeah.
But with that, Remember Me is going to make the list. And we go back to Jacob. What is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this one goes because people are either lukewarm on it or they absolutely love it. I'm in the camp of I absolutely loved it, and that's Tenet. I thought Tenet was fantastic. I understand some people had a hard time following the story, and I totally get that. But I still think Robert Pattinson is giving a fantastic performance. John David Washington, Elizabeth Debicki, Michael Caine, Kenneth Branagh. I think the cast is stacked top to bottom. I think Christopher Nolan's direction is really well. It's fantastic on a technical level. Yeah, and this is one of those movies that I can rewatch and find something different each time, and I really love that in a movie. And I think yeah, this is one of those movies that does that really well. So yeah, there's two camps when it comes to this movie, and I'm not sure which one you guys fall in, but I'm curious. So Tenet's going to be my next nomination.
Jordan, what do you say about Tenant?
It's time to cue up the meme. No, God, no, because I cannot stand Tenet. I hate this movie. I like it with a passion. I have it ranked the lowest of the low on my whole Robert Pattinson list, lower than the Twilight movies. Like this movie, like it just makes zero sense, like whatsoever. I have no idea what's even happening. They're going forward, they're going backward. They're like doing weird things that just don't even. I don't even know what the story is. They're right then. There's issues with the sound design to where the sound's way too loud, and then there's a scene where Robert Pattinson literally trying to explain how everything works and what they're trying to do, but you can't even hear it, even in a Dolby Atmos most theater. Like I just like it was just like not good some of the action scenes look cool, and like the forward and backward time stuff look cool. But and I remember, I don't know what IMAX movie that it was, but I went to go see one, and they showed like maybe like 10 minutes of the movie, or 5 minutes, something like that. And like that opening scene when they're like trying to like rob some kind of place with an orchestra, or like blow it up or something, looks really cool. And so like I was really hyped when I saw that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks incredible. Then I saw the movie, and I'm like, oh man, I hate when I see like trailers and like little scenes, and it makes it look so cool, and then I go to the theater and I'm just so disappointed. And so yeah, I'm just not a Tenet fan. It's like my probably my worst Christopher Nolan movie also. So yeah, no thank you on a Tenet from me.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, see,
You told me to queue it up, so I did.
yeah, Malcolm comes prepared. Yeah.
No, that's one of the videos I've always had on here.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, look, I'm not the biggest fan of Tenet. I do like it enough. And it's one of those ones like I do think Robert Pattinson's giving a good performance in the movie. And so I think it deserves to be on this list. So it's going to be an easy yes for me as well. So Tenet is going to make this list. I think we know what Jordan's last number.
Yeah, I think so.
Jordan, we're going to go back to you. What is your next nomination?
Let me consult back. So I'm gonna go with one that you might be surprised that I actually have it this high on my list. And it's one that first time I saw it, I didn't really like it, but I worked at a movie theater just for a little bit during 2019 for almost a year, but it's very part time, just so I could get free movies. I worked at an AMC, and it was playing there, and that's The Lighthouse. So so yeah, like I didn't get it when I first saw it, and I had to give it another rewatch because Robert Eggers can be like just very all over the place, but like because like I remember like I worked with a bunch of teenagers, and like if you time it right, you can go in this scene. There's like a weird like jerking off scene or something weird. I'm like, what the frick is this? And so that was my first thing that I saw. But then I went and saw it, and I still didn't like it that much. But then I saw it a second time, and actually learned to really appreciate it, and like kind of watch it from a different lens, and just realize that like I always like to give movies a second chance, and there's certain ones that like I watch them 3 and 4 times, and I still don't really understand it. But this one actually I did, and yeah, Willem Dafoe is given like a haunting performance. It's almost so I don't know if it's meant to be a horror a movie, but it's very dark and very kind of like creepy, and yeah, just those two stranded at a lighthouse is just like and like the way that they kind of interact, it's just really unique and really different. So I appreciate that. So yeah, I'll go with The Lighthouse.
I mean, I believe officially it is classified as a horror movie because I think it's yes, so I think it's one of those ones like it's categorized as either a horror movie or psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Which both because I know when Nosferatu is coming out, like people are like, can Robert Eggers do something that's not horror movies? Like,
Yeah, right.
But yeah, this is one I actually did get. I did give a rewatch for this because just like Jordan, like I wasn't a big fan of it the first time I saw it. I still don't get the movie and don't like it as much. But I will say I do think the performances from Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe are good. And I'm still going to give this a yes because I do think it belongs on a top 12 Robert Pattinson list. Jacob, what do you say about The Lighthouse?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson was on a good run. Between Good Times and High Life than this, I think, yeah, because he's given a fantastic performance. I think the script is really good. Yeah, Willem Dafoe, I think they play off each other really well. I think, yeah, it's just these two in this lighthouse. And yeah, the back and forth, the chemistry, it works really well. I haven't seen Nosferatu yet. I'm gonna get to that very soon. But yeah, so far Robert Eggers is batting 1,000 between this, The Northman, And I don't know if I'd classify The Northman as horror, maybe more thriller, but not. I definitely wouldn't call that. It's like an action thriller. I could classify that. So yeah, he doesn't just do horror. And yeah, this has I think I'd call this more of a thriller too, with horror elements, and it's more of like a character study of these two guys. So yeah, no, I think Robert Eggers is a really great filmmaker, and I love that he's taking time between his movies. But we're not talking about Robert Eggers. We're talking about Robert Pattinson. I think he's given a fantastic performance, and I think he deserves to be on the list. So yes.
But that Lighthouse is going to make the list, and it comes back around to me. And for my next movie, I'm going to bring up a movie that he was in with Tom Holland. And it's going to go one of two ways, but it's actually going to be the one I literally just finished watching like moment before we went live, and that's The Lost City of Z. And because you got like Charlie Hunnam, and Tom Holland being these adventurers and that, and then you've also got appearances from like Ian McDermott, who I forgot was in here, and then you got Harry Melling from Harry Potter popping up in there as well. But The Lost City is it's a really fun sort of like adventure movie, and where they're trying to find this lost civilization, even though the scientific community is saying like it doesn't exist, like and all that. So I think the movie itself is pretty good, and I think once again Bob Pattinson gives a good performance in this. I don't know if everyone's seen it, but I don't know how this is going to go. But Jacob, what do you say about The Lost City of Z?
Well, The Lost City of Z, which it says right there, it says one of 2017's best movies. I don't know if I would go that far to say it's one of 2017, just because 2017 was a fantastic year for movies, in my opinion. But it is a really good movie. Yeah, fantastic performances from all three of those guys that you mentioned. I don't think I've seen it since 2017. I need to revisit it. I remember really liking it. Yeah, Charlie Hunnam. He's one of those actors who, if I see him in something, I'm going to give that a shot, because I do think he's a really good actor too. And then Tom Holland, I'm like, oh, you mean the new Spider-Man? Let's see what he's doing. And yeah, I wasn't sure which way you were going to go when you said Robert Pattinson and Tom Holland. I might go the other way when it comes back to me. But I will also give this one a yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I half expect you to hold up the DVDs and say I haven't seen it. But Jordan, what do you say about The Lost City of Z?
So, The Lost City of Z would have been the fourth movie if I had enough time. So, I really tried to get to it. I just didn't quite have enough time. But it's another one of those ones though that has to be better than a Twilight movie. It just has to be better. So I gotta say yes to it, because it just sounds like a fun adventure. You know, Charlie Hunnam and Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson going through the jungle and like trying to find this a city out there, and kind of like looking for like an Atlantis of sorts out there. And yeah, like it's one that I definitely want to see, and I definitely want to read the book also. So maybe when we get to our tournament of movies based on books we're going to do soon, maybe we'll throw that on there so I can maybe try to read the book. Possibly we'll see. There'll be a lot of books to read and not enough time, but that's fine. But I'll say yes to The Lost City of Z. Sure.
I mean, once again, you could have said no. I'm still going to make the list.
Yeah, that's true.
But Jake, we're going to go back to you. What's the next movie you're going to bring up?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the other Robert Pattinson, Tom Holland movie, and I'm gonna go with The Devil All the Time. This came out 2020. Right in the COVID years. And it was one of the few 2020 movies that I did see, because I remember it was that year I was like, I'm just going to watch movies that I enjoy, that I know I like, because it's just been such a crappy year, and I just want do my best to just make me feel good and not have to worry about being inside all the time and not being able to hang out with people as much as I used to. But I saw the cast for this. Yeah, Tom Holland, Bill Skarsgård, uh, Robert Pattinson, Jason Clarke, Sebastian Stan, Mia Wasikowska. I'm pretty sure that's how you say her last name.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was an interesting story. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting story. I thought there were really good performances here. I think I think it's gonna get lost in the shuffle when it comes to Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson. But I think it's one that if you haven't seen it, it's a Netflix movie, so I definitely would recommend going and checking it out. So The Devil All the Time is going to be my next nomination.
Jordan, what do you say about The Devil All the Time?
I'll say that I haven't seen it, so but it'll be an easy one to see because it's on Netflix, and so I was gonna watch it, but then I just heard it got really bad reviews when it came out, so I just didn't rush out to go see it, and I kind of just forgot about it, honestly, and so I haven't gotten back to it. There's another one that has Harry Melling in it, the Dudley Dursley from Harry Potter, but yeah, but for this one, I think I have to say no, just because I haven't seen it and I haven't heard great things about it. So for now, I'll say no.
Yeah, but it's back to me, and looking at what I've got left, higher than it, I'm gonna say yes, because outside of the Twilight movies, and outside a couple others that I don't think would have come up anyway. I do enjoy Devil All the Time, and so I'm gonna say yes to it. I think it's good enough to be on the list. And yeah, so Devil All the Time is gonna close out this list. Jordan, did you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I must be missing one. I've only got 11, but I guess I probably didn't write one down. Maybe. Oh, I didn't write down High Life. Okay. I'm trying to keep track so when it comes to voting time. But yeah, I do have a few. So I actually watched the movie The King for this, and with Timothy Chalamet. That one's really good. Robert Pattinson doesn't show up until about an hour into it, but he's really funny when he shows up. He's like this French guy, and Timothy Chalamet plays King Henry V or something, and he is like going to I try to negotiate some kind of peace with them, but then he's like you will be wiped out because you have a small cock and tiny balls, and he's like laughing at him and like just has this crazy goofy kind of French accent. And he's like totally taunting, and you see Timothy Chalamet because the king back there would take that as like a huge insult. It's like like he was just like pissed about it. So yeah, I also have The Rover. So if we would have had Richie on here, he might have been a little upset we don't have The Rover on here because that's the Australian one. I'm sure that he's advocated for that before. And then, funny enough, they're probably out of all the Twilight movies, I like the Breaking Dawn Part 2 probably the best because you get that end fight scene, and like even though like I don't even care about spoiling it because you find out that it's all in like Bella's head or one of the characters' head, something like that, and then but you get people chopping off heads and like just like some really cool kind of bloody fight scenes, and it's a lot of fun and just more kind of action to it. So that's maybe the only Twilight movie I would have advocated for. So yeah, but that's all I got for honorable mentions.
Yeah, just to correct you, Robert Pattinson played Louis, Duke of Guyenne in The King, not King Henry V. King Henry
No,
V was Timothy Chalamet.
yeah, so that's what I meant. Yeah, I meant to say that was Timothy Chalamet. Yeah,
It's not, I was. It was more. It was more for the audience.
yeah, right. Yeah.
So I don't want anyone to go at you like, well, actually.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, and I did actually watch The Rover for this too, and it probably would have been the next one I brought up that. Funny enough, the Rover and the King were probably the two. Like, yeah, they probably won't come up. So it's like,
Yeah.
and
Well,
yeah,
maybe they should have.
that's literally the only honorable mentions I have. The only other movie I actually watched for this was a movie called Waiting for the Barbarians, which is boring. So I would not have put that up at all. But Jacob, did you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, no, just those two. Yeah, the King and the Rover. I tried to get to Cosmopolis and Life, but I just didn't have time. Life, the one with I'm probably still gonna get to it because I'm very interested. It's about James Dean and this photographer prior to the release of East of Eden, and it's on Amazon Prime, so I'll probably still check it out. But the King's really good, Rover is really good, so yeah, we probably could have done a top 14 and just insert
right.
those two.
Yeah. There's so many movies called Life these
I know, yeah. There's like
I
4
know. I
of
was talking with JPO last night, and I was like, "Oh, I might watch Life tonight." And he's like, "You mean High Life?" And I was like, "No, he's in a movie called Life."
them. Yeah.
He's like, "Are you sure?" I think that's Jake Gyllenhaal. And I'm like, "No, it's a different movie."
Yeah.
So if that it's time to vote on these and how we vote as we each go around and write what we want at number 12, 11, and so on and so forth. And then whatever has the most votes will end up at that spot.
I see
And
a lot of ties.
Yeah. Might be.
We know Jordan's number 12.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can guess mine. You might know Malcolm's, maybe. We'll see.
but Jacob, what do you have at 12?
I'm gonna go Twilight.
Jordan.
And I'm gonna go with Tenet.
I'm gonna go with Good Time.
Oh no.
Just
So
how
I've got to try off the bat as my board goes.
Yeah.
Um,
Malcolm's pissed, so he threw his board down. It's like, screw this.
So if there's anyone in the chat, Good Time, Twilight, or Tenant is what is on the table. I don't and well, this is going to be interesting because my prediction wasn't correct because Leo came up.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Let's go, Leo.
Yeah.
I gotta pick another one. Okay.
But Jordan, what do you have at 11?
Hang on. Not the one you might think. I just put the double all the time because I haven't seen it, so that's just why.
I was thinking of Good Time.
Sticking with Twilight.
All right, so I've got Devil All the Time, Twilight, and Good Time. First comment I see that will help decide on what ends up at 11. Otherwise, I will get a real really.
Basically, this could be Leo's list. Leo,
Yeah,
you,
it could be.
Leo, you make the list for us. We'll give
Yeah.
you options, and you decide.
But it's going to be the Devil All the Time.
Yeah, and he's agreeing with me. I like that.
On second thought, let's stop going to the comments. Let's just make a wheel. Let's get the wheel ready.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting with Good Time. Jacob.
Sticking with Twilight.
And Jordan.
This time I'm actually gonna go Twilight. So there you go. Twilight.
Twilight is going to be at number 10. Jacob, what do you have for number 9?
I want Water for Elephants.
Jordan.
I went with High Life.
And I went with Good Time. So we've got Good Time, Water for Elephants, and High Life. Leo, or anyone else who's in that happens to be in the chat. and Brian is actually here, and it's going to be highlight.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Brian. I gotta pick another one. Should have went with this one earlier, but that's fine. Too late now.
I mean, looking at this list, I'm pretty sure I'm fairly sure what's going to end up number one, maybe. But
This
Gordon,
one I wrote down. Yeah, it
what
should
do
have
you
been my number 11, but I went with the Boy and the Heron. I just forgot to write it.
Right. Good time.
Sticking with water for elephants.
So we got Good Time, Boy and the Heron, and Water for Elephants. Go to the chat. If no,
I don't think I'm gonna win this one.
I should stop trying to make it. But Leo said Water for Elephants.
Okay.
I just want, keep going to the comments. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
We're good. Yeah.
But speaking of Good Time, Jacob.
Remember me.
Jordan.
I have the Boy and the Heron.
So got Good Time, Boy and the Heron, and Remember Me. First comment I see, and I'll give it a few minutes. See if I actually get a real done at that time. Nope. And it's going to be Good Time.
Oh no, Good Time. Oh, you're killing me. There goes my number one.
That was 1 or 2 for me.
Yeah.
I also just wanted to see how long we could make it for Malcolm to not erase his board. Have you ever made it through an entire ranking process without erasing your board, Malcolm?
I think I've done it once or twice.
I've got a rule. After 3 times and I'm not getting anyone to agree, I switch it up. That's my rule.
I mean, it's one of those ones like if I was the guest, I probably would have done that, but because like I have to make the banners as well.
Oh yeah, sure.
Not having to keep changing my board is handy for that reason.
Yeah.
But Jordan, what do you have for 6?
So I did switch it up and I went with Remember Me. So
I read Boy the Heron.
Oh no. Dang. You switched it up on me, Malcolm. Pulling a fast one.
Well, I guess we know what number 6 or number 5 is going to be.
Yeah, probably.
So what do we got? What do we got left?
We've got the Batman, the Boy and the Heron, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Dot Lighthouse, and the Lost City of Z.
This one's easy for me.
But I'm sticking with the Boy and the Heron. Jacob.
Lost City of Z.
And Jordan.
I went with the Boy and the Heron.
No. Jacob, what do you have for number 4?
Lost City of Z.
Jordan.
I went with the Lost City of Z. Yeah.
I went the Lighthouse, but Lost City of Z is going to be at 4.
All right. I need a new eraser. This thing does not work. I've had this for like 5 years.
Jordan, what do you have for 3?
I have the Lighthouse.
Lighthouse. And Jacob?
I want Goblet of Fire just because he's more supporting.
Oh, yeah. That's probably fair.
No, I get it though. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking. Some people they rank the movies and not just the performances. So I totally get it.
Yeah. But now we're voting on number one, and it's between the Batman and Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. My number one is the Batman.
The Batman.
And Jordan.
And my number one's actually Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. So, all right. But I'm not mad about the Batman. The Batman's really good. So, yeah. And hopefully we'll get the next Batman in like 3 years or whenever it comes out. I don't know.
Look, it's one of those ones like I'm fine for them taking their time if it means it's going to be a good movie in the end.
Yeah.
And
as long as it's a good movie in the end, as long as it is.
Yeah. But with that brings us to the end of another episode of Rankum. Our top 12 Robert Pattinson movies is 12. At 11 we got Devil All the Time. At 10 we got Twilight. At 9 we got High Life. At 8 we got Water for Elephants. At 7 we got Good Time. At 6 we got Remember Me. At 5 The Boy and the Heron. At 4 The Lost City of Z. At 3 we got The Lighthouse. At 2 we got Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And number 1 is The Batman.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
But with that, time to go check on the poll next week.
Let's go Looney Tunes. Probably action films of the 2020s, though.
That poll was the first poll that like I'm like I actually love all these categories, so I just voted for everything.
But by literally one vote, it is just barely action movies of the 2020s.
Okay.
The Batman.
Yeah.
I did. It might come up again. But Jacob, where can people find you online?
Yeah, I don't have much going on. Every Thursday, you can catch me over on the Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast with Austin, Richie, and JPO. We talk wrestling. This upcoming week, we're going to be talking about AEW Revolution, which is happening tomorrow, as well as the Madison Square Garden show for Raw. So we'll be talking about that. I pop up here from time to time, and whenever Malcolm has me on Spirit from the Past, I'll be on there too. That's a fantastic show. You should check that out over on his personal channel. That's always a fun time. So that's about it.
Jordan, where can people find you online?
Yeah, so we've been in the midst of an action mystery series, so you can find that over on the Movie Hero Network, and we're on number 3 of 4, technically 5 because we're going to have a championship at the end of the month, but Malcolm's going to be on part 3 this upcoming Tuesday, and then as far as what else, we also do some trivia. I'll just shout out that we're trying to get the next match of the Seen and Heard movie trivia going, but I'm not really hearing from the people from our first match of round 2, so we may have to wait on that one and just move to the next one. We will have one coming soon. We'll be doing that, followed by probably some music trivia that'll be on Patreon, where we just play clips from music and you try to guess the movie from that. So hopefully those will be coming up soon. And for anyone that's a fan of the Movie Hero Network and you want to sign up for our Patreon, go to patreon.com/movie hero. And I should hopefully, I know that I'm a little behind on the extended schedule. The just regular schedules over in the Movie Hero Network group on Facebook, but the extended one should be up within the next couple of days. So yeah, just go watch for that. And yeah, we appreciate you subscribing. It helps us out. So yeah.
And with that, you can find me on Tape Productions hosting Rankum every week. Next week, normally it's on Sunday. Next week, I'm pretty sure it's going to be back on Sunday. I've just had it on Saturday the last few weeks because it worked better for me, and I wasn't competing with the Oscars and other things.
Yeah.
But and that's especially for all those people that keep asking me questions, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
But
good at that.
yeah, but you could also find me hosting Spare from the Past every week on my personal channel, Middle Earth Media. Going to have a little bit of a double header this week because tomorrow, me, Jake Cameron, and if Richie's Power's back on that, maybe Richie as well will be talking about the first 4 seasons of NXT, the reality show competition ones.
nice.
So should be interesting. It'll be a little bit longer than a normal episode of Pass because we are talking about all of those. So it's gonna be interesting to see they think. And then I'll have Steve Mesa on later in the week to talk about NXT Takeover War Games from 2020. And I'll be up here and there from on the Movie Hero Network. I'll be back on Tuesday with action movies, and then in a month's time will be my birthday. And my birthday episode this time around will be about parody movies. So it'd be fun to see which one comes out on top.
Cool.
But with that is the end of ranking for this week. So until next time, we'll see you when we see you, and I will just go it with.
I'm just a huge fan of the sport.